One of the last things that Rabbi Chana Wasserman told was a mashal, was a parable, which is such a powerful thing to think about, maybe a spark during these difficult times, Bein HaMetzarim. Rabbi Chanan gave a mashal of a student who was looking to find out something about farming. He had never, ever seen a farm. He had never heard of anything about farms. And yet he wanted to become an apprentice of a farmer. So he goes one day to a farm and he sees that the farmer begins to plow his field. And he can't believe it. Why would he take a perfectly good field and toss it and turn it and push the whole thing over? But okay, the farmer says, you're just learning. You have to see how we farm, how we bring about grain. Next, he sees him take a bag of grain, perfectly good seeds, and instead of using them or eating them, he starts to throw them all over the field. And he can't believe it. Why would you take perfectly good grain and throw it all over the field? And the farmer said, you have to still learn. You have to see the whole process to understand. Next, he sees that the grains have finally come up. And now he understands. Obviously, you're trying to grow a field of wheat, and he sees the beautiful wheat stalks, and he begins to understand what it means to farm. And then he sees the farmer goes out and he starts to cut everything down. And he starts to scream, why are you ruining everything? Why are you destroying a perfectly good field? And on and on and on. You can imagine his shock when they pulverize the wheat and they make it almost into nothing. They make it into a dust. And then they take that dust and they make it into mud. They take this perfectly good dust, perfectly good looking, and they make it into something muddy. And then they put it in the oven to burn. Of course, when he finally sees the bread, so he understands. And the farmer says to him, you tipesh, you're just an apprentice. You don't understand. You have to see the final product to be able to understand. So too, said Rabbi Chana Wasserman, the Jewish people have been turned over, have been thrown, scattered throughout the earth, and they've been cut down, and they've been smashed, and they've been pushed into the mud, and they've even the last step of the process. But when we see the final geula, then we'll understand what it was all about. It's easy for me to say something like that. I wouldn't make up a mashal like this myself, nor could I. But to understand that Rabbi Chana Wasserman said this at the last speech that he gave in the ghetto, the emunah of Gadol and the message, the powerful message which we need to take, even at this time of suffering, is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who is so much wiser than we, he has a plan.